just after elementary school, I moved here, and we've been pretty much best buds ever since. We've done everything together, and through middle school, high school, college, even afterwards. And this friendship has been a huge part of my life, and what makes me who I am is how I've been with Rawley, and also his family. He comes from a pretty spectacular group of people, and his parents, his grandparents, his aunts and uncles, cousins, everybody, and they've definitely been my second family as well. And you can see how Rawley comes from, or how Rawley's affected, and how he is who he is from the people that he comes from as well. And I think in particular, his grandpa has played a huge part in who he is today. And his grandpa was always super pumped for us in everything that we were doing. When we first started brewing beer after high school, I remember his grandpa was always down there tasting every single thing we made, no matter how bad it was,
But it was good.
and giving us thoughtful critiques. And every time when he'd go to restaurants, he'd ask, knowing that all we're doing is making beer in glass bottles up in that kitchen up there, he'd always ask, like, do you serve Lost Lodge on tap? So next time you're eating out, make sure you ask. And that has not just affected me, but even Cliff over there has grown into a career of being a brewer now. But another thing that you'll hear about Rawley when you talk to different people is almost everyone's got a story about how Rawley kind of brought them to the outdoors, and I think that definitely reflects his grandpa as well. And one of their favorite hikes together was Spider Meadows, and some of you heard a few details of this story last night, but I'll add a little extra. Colby and Rawley and I decided we were going to hike up Spider Meadows over the pass and down into Holden, and Rawley had done it with his grandpa once before, and so he knew it pretty well. But, what we did was the responsible thing. We actually called the ranger station the week before, and they strongly recommended to us that we wear crampons and bring ice gear if we were planning on going up over the pass. And we strongly recommended to them they take a look outside at the beautiful June weather we were having. And it was a day later, we're wearing tennis shoes, basketball shorts, and cotton and everything, and chiseling holes in the side of this pass for footholds to get up. Spent the entire night looking for a trail that was under feet of snow. And I can picture perfectly in my head Rawley standing there with his headlight and his hair frozen in spikes around that halo of light, just saying, we need a little more light, guys, and a fresh pair of eyes. And I don't think we slept at all that night, but as you can guess, we did make it out. But morale was getting pretty low, and the thing about Rawley is he is always pulling for the rest of us. He's always that optimist and that positive mental attitude. And he's got that sense of adventure, and we're a little bit different in that way, in that I like to stop and think things out. As you heard Zach say earlier, he's a doer. So But that sense of adventure, I think, has been one of the foundations of our relationship, and I think it is for theirs as well. And that same sense of adventure, one summer when I called him and said, hey, we're summiting Mount Rainier, and no guides and no experience, and we're just gonna send it. And before I finished that sentence, he was like, oh yeah, I'm down. Because he's a down-to-doer as well. But when we finally got to the top, the first thing that he does is whips out his phone and calls Nicole from the top, which is just like what his grandpa did a couple of years ago, calling his grandma. But just like climbing that mountain, he's always down to go big, and I think the biggest thing that he's done is go for Nicole. I've known Nicole since the beginning of college. I was one of those Fiji's, and she was a couple houses down. And like anyone who knows her, I came to know her as just one spectacular person. And from my perspective, their relationship all started in room 318 at the house. And Rawley comes up to me and says, you know that Nicole Bouchard girl? It's like, I'm going to ask her out. To which my response is like, yeah, sure, dude, good luck. But he goes big. And I think how she finally bit was that he is one of the few people that can talk baseball almost as well as she can. Not quite, but almost. And it's been really special getting to see them through all the years, and I got to know Nicole a little bit better when she was coming up from San Diego right after we graduated, and Rawley and I were living in the basement of a Chinese foot massage. He had just gotten a job, and so the day before she shows up to visit him after not seeing him for months, he takes off for Texas for a week, and so Nicole and I had some really great time that weekend, and I think we really got to get a little closer and know each other better, and
Go Quinn!
I hope that came out the right way. At any rate. So, anyway, getting to see these two over the years is, as a couple, it is truly inspiring to see two people who work together and are together in this way. And I'm really running out of my words. But it's been a privilege. So if I may propose one more toast. Please raise your glasses. In this journey that is marriage, I hope that it's an adventure that's a little bit less like those frigid days on the mountain, and a little more like the smooth and sunny days on the yak.
There we go, yeah! Oh, gosh.
All right, we're going to take this one.